So I'm Ezelle from the upcoming. Lovely to speak to you. Congratulations on this fantastic film. I mean, it's wonderful in the lead up to Christmas. It really is. Could you start
Thank
by
you.
telling us a little bit about the story behind Hotel for the Holidays? For those that haven't seen it, what's this film kind of about?
It's a feel-good, family-friendly holiday film. That kind of encompasses a little bit of a love triangle. It's about a chef who works at a hotel, and he's kind of smitten by the hotel manager. And we start off the film as them as best friends. They're best friends in the film, and they've been working together for a few years. And there's a prince from a faraway country that comes into the mix. He's staying at the hotel for the holidays, and he kind of gets in between this, little connection that they have, and a little love triangle is formed. And then, certain things ensue. Christmas chaos ensues at the hotel, and we get to go on a journey with these two characters of Chef Luke and Georgia.
So could you tell us a little bit about your role as Luke? Kind of what appealed to you about this script?
A few things. I before I moved to Los Angeles, I was a hustling actor in Toronto, and as part of my hustle, I was working at a restaurant full time for 3 years. So I worked at a restaurant for 3 years. I'm pretty big, into the F&B space, food and beverage. So I worked at that restaurant. My girlfriend and I, we have a gin company called Dharma Gin together, which is perfect for the UK readers, because I know you guys love gin, and so do
Yep,
we.
we
So
do.
we made a gin together. I'm also an investor in a few food and beverage companies as well. So I'm big into the food and beverage space. So I love the idea of playing a chef. I wrote a cookbook as well. I love cooking, so that really enticed me to the role. And then Madeline and I met a few years ago. We did a late night show together. We were both promoting different projects, and we really hit it off. We had a really good vibe. And I always thought to myself, like, oh, it'd be great to work with her one day. And lo and behold, this opportunity came up. And I think that kind of sealed the deal for me. And I always like the challenge as well of helping studios kind of take stuff to the top. Obviously with Aladdin, that did really well. Earlier this year, I had a film on Netflix that was the number one film in the world for a few weeks, called The Royal Treatment. And Amazon Freevee is Amazon's kind of brand new platform, and I really like the idea of working with them to help them grow that. I think from a business perspective, that's something that I always look forward to, is helping studios and platforms kind of grow their audiences. So for all those reasons and more, I really wanted to do this film, Hotel for the Holidays.
And obviously, you mentioned the royal treatment, which I loved. You were really praised for your kind of on-screen chemistry with your co-star. Obviously, you're a prince in that. I know there's a prince in this one, and you're not that, you're
Yep.
the chef, but you have a brilliant on-screen chemistry with Madeline, who plays the hotel manager, Georgia. What was it like then working with her and bringing that connection to screen? How did you kind of get that chemistry going between you?
Like I said, we met a few years ago, and I think, felt that we would have really good chemistry. But to kind of ramp it up for this film, we got to know each other a little bit more. We went and played billiards together, and just got to talking about life and work, and all kinds of stuff to get to know each other a little bit more. And I think the connection was always there, so it was really kind of easy for this film because we had a pre-existing relationship, albeit a very brief one. But we always kept in touch, briefly after that time together on the late night show a few years ago. So it's a work in progress, like everything. A really good acting coach once told me, if you've got to play a love interest with someone, no matter how strong or weak the connection is, you should always find something that you really love about the person, even if it's like something as simple as like, I really like their eyes, or their, or their eyebrows, or how they smell, or just find something that you love about them and kind of think about that and fixate on that. So I always like the challenge of trying to bring that on-screen chemistry to life. But with Madeline, it wasn't a challenge at all. I think it came pretty easy. So I hope people see that and enjoy that about this film.
I think they will. And I think obviously you get to run around New York. Imagine making this film. There's some amazing scenes. You've got the rooftop dinner scene. Were there any specific memorable moments making this festive film for you that stood out?
Yeah, we shot the film almost entirely in this beautiful old hotel. And so the actual hotel was decked out in Christmas, even though we shot it during the summertime. Once you entered the hotel, it felt like, it felt like December in New York City. That's what it felt like. And that was really special, because we didn't really have to imagine a lot. It was this actual beautiful old hotel that looked like Christmas everywhere. So I think that really comes across on screen as well. This isn't like a built set or anything. This is a real live hotel. So I think that'll kind of always helps you get in a Christmas spirit, because people love Christmas and they love to spend it at home, but people also love traveling for Christmas and going to hotels and stuff. So obviously the hotel is a character in its own way in this film, and the film is called Hotel for the Holidays. So hotel was a really important, special part of this film too.
And obviously, talking of Christmas, I know you have Egyptian roots. Can you tell us any traditions you and your family have over the Christmas period? Because I know the Egyptians celebrate it twice, don't they? I mean, you've got the Coptic Christmas Day as well on January 7th, haven't you? You get double the fun.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, you're not a lot of people know that. So that's absolutely true. Yeah. So growing up, we celebrated Christmas on the 25th because it was kind of when you wanted to open presents and stuff. So we always open presents on the 25th. And then on the 7th, which is Coptic Christmas, the night before we went to church. And then at midnight, that always reminds me of Christmas movies too, like Midnight Tonight. I think that was from Home Alone. But at midnight on the 6th, we would have this massive feast with the family to ring in Christmas Day. So I always just remember gathering around the dinner table with my family, my two sisters and my mom and my dad, and just, breaking bread and eating a delicious meal because my mom's an incredible cook, and having some wine and just being together for the holidays, was really special. So you're right. I did get to celebrate Christmas twice. This year is probably 3 times because the 25th, the 6th, and also when we shot the film felt like Christmas. So 3 Christmases this year for me. I'm a lucky guy.
And obviously, this film has all the elements of being a classic Christmas rom-com. What do you think is the appeal of that? That genre, that rom-com genre that's so popular.
I think especially now, we're entering the roaring 20s, what a lot of finance people are calling the roaring 20s. They don't feel roaring so far. It's been a tough time for a lot of people, the 2020s. So especially during this decade, I feel like we're going to be really drawn a lot to just easy feel-good movies that remind us of the good old days. I sound like an old man, but just remind us of things that make us happy. And I think that's kind of the appeal for romantic comedies and Christmas movies as well. I think especially after how tough it's been these last couple of years for everybody around the world, we really look forward to not necessarily time off, because we've all had a lot of that, but we all look forward to just celebration. Right. We want to celebrate things. And this film does that too. Not only is it celebrating Christmas, I think this film is celebrating women empowerment, because our outright lead, Madeline, who's played by Madeline Pesh, is a woman. It celebrates, camaraderie, love, and two people really pushing each other to be better versions of themselves, which this film also does. So, I think we all want movies that kind of, instill good vibes, and I think this film definitely does that.
And what was it like working with such an amazing ensemble cast?
It was great. We shot this film in Canada, and I'm Canadian, so it's always great to go back to Canada and work there. That's something that I love doing. Obviously, it's incredible just going back home in general, but going back home to work is always an added bonus. And so I know that we have a lot of talent in Canada. I'm a champion of Canadian talent because, excuse me, I used to be, one of those hustling actors in Canada. Like I said, working at a restaurant. I worked at a restaurant for 3 years before I moved to Los Angeles. So I know we have a lot of talent there. And so getting to work with this ensemble was fantastic. It makes me proud to be Canadian because a lot of this ensemble is Canadian, and also getting to work closely with Madeline, was something that I kind of manifested in a way because, I don't know if I said this, but we met years ago on a late night show together. We did this late night show, and we were both promoting different projects. And I kind of always thought it would be great to work with her. So I kind of manifested that, I think, in my own way. So yeah, overall, getting to work with everybody on this film was a pleasure. So I think that'll read on camera as well.
Well, thank you very much for talking to me, and good luck with it all. It's a lovely film. It's really wonderful. Thank you so much.